Northwest Nigeria, a land of enduring traditions, bound by history and resilience. Yet, beneath its rich heritage lies a painful reality: division and mistrust, fracturing families and displacing communities. Violence replaced dialogue, and the weight of inequality silenced too many voices. Lack of communication platforms, the exclusion of key stakeholders, and the absence of accessible early warning systems left vulnerable communities exposed. As a result, banditry, kidnappings, farmer-herder clashes, and intercommunal violence continued to escalate. Global Rights, with support from the Foreign, Commonwealth and Development Office, UK, launched an intervention to address these issues in northwest Nigeria. Through strategic relationships with influential stakeholders, the organization implemented community-driven initiatives through community dialogue committees, CDCs, early warning response coordination systems, and the Gender Action Learning Systems girls programs in Sokoto, Katsina, Kano, and Kaduna states. Traditional rulers, religious leaders, law enforcement agencies, women and youth came together to find common ground, discuss issues, and create solutions that reflect their aspirations.
At Global Rights, we have a not for us without us policy, which puts our partners at the driver's seat of any project. And it wasn't any different for this project. Going into the communities, designing the projects with them, designing the activities with them, letting them be at the driver's seat of choosing what direction the CDCs go, the interactions, and having them lead all of that was very essential for us.
On some of the strategies that we've engaged in the project, I would say have yielded the success we've seen so far. I think one key strategy is actually working with the community to identify the issues themselves, and then working with them to create solutions to these issues. And it's those solutions created that now inform our implementation strategies and our approach and models that we're using for the project. And I think that has greatly contributed to largely contributed to the success that we've seen on the project.
We have been seeing a lot of training, a lot of partner donor support, but we have never seen that one impactful like Global Rights. So you bring in people themselves, engage them to come up with their issues, and also you engage them to come up with a solution to their problem. This is very, very community-friendly approach. We need it. We want it to sustain so that we touch more lives of matured girls and the matured women that have been denied right to talk, right to speak, right to claim a right to participate into community, right to participate into domestic decision-making.
Conflict settings create an even more fertile ground for crimes of sexual and gender-based violence. The protracted crisis in northern Nigeria, the breakdown of formal and informal protection mechanisms, lack of security, displacement and migration, proliferation of insurgency groups, and poverty have undermined trust and cohesion in communities and exposed the most vulnerable, women, children, people with disabilities and youths, to exploitation and abuse.
What we realized in our early visits to the communities was that there were no structures for women engagements in that sense. In that even though women were the ones who were disproportionately affected by conflict and violence in the region and in the community, there were no specific platforms for that sort of dialogue where women could engage. And even where there was a semblance of those platforms, there were hardly any women participating or contributing directly in those discussions.
Women have no voice. They don't even listen to them.
One of those things I've observed in Sokoto is this widespread lack of capacity, lack of skills to handle issues, to understand those issues, and to see how within their own context and with the limited resources that they have, they can actually handle.
Before the training, it's like men usually doesn't help their house and household chores. Even apart from that, even in decision making, men usually used to get angry at their wives without even knowing the reason. That maybe if something happens, they don't bother to ask what happened. They will start shouting at the wife, which usually used to bring
misperception in the household.
So before the global right intervention, there were a lot of gaps in the community whereby you find out that GBV cases are happening and there's nobody to like help, there's nobody to respond, and a lot of us, we are actually ignorant of what to do, actually.
Sokoto, located in a most conservative state with religious sensitivities. Male is a major decision maker in family and in community. Women have been denied every right to participate in the decision making, domestic decision making, as well as community decision making.
Well, this gender-based violence is abuse of women's right. You see, the issues that I'm facing here, people maltreating, abusing women, abusing their children. You see, you find somebody who just beat his wife, pack her property and throw away, or even injured her.
The center was open since 2019 and we have recorded 4,422 or 26 cases, male and female. And mostly women affected, 3,801 cases of women and young girls.
The toll was beyond measure. Women and girls suffered in silence, lives cut short, families torn apart, futures left in ruins. The absence of trust ran deeper than marriages and communities. It carved a divide between the people and those who want to protect them.
We have so many challenges when we started intervening on GBV cases. The most challenges are domestic violence, especially between husband and wife, and rape cases.
When the project started, one of the critical challenges we face is one, illiteracy. A lot of the members of the community are not well aware of one, the function of some security agencies and institutional agencies that are available that they can seek redress whenever they are faced with some of this violence. Two, we have challenges such as poverty. A lot of the survivors are actually propelled by the level of poverty because they are too poor to seek for legal redress to some of the threats they face.
In the darkest moments, hope often finds its strongest voice. Here is a story of how technology, dialogue, and women's empowerment are helping to build bridges of peace in northwest Nigeria.
Just carry the keys, just like that. We don't actually...
Whispers became conversations. Conversations became a movement. They call this movement the Community Dialogue Committee, the CDC, a simple name for an ambitious dream, a platform where voices once silenced could now be heard.
First of all, there are entry points. If, for example, your target audience are the women and the young girls, you cannot just straight go to them, not just to the elders, but the critical stakeholders, the religious leaders, the traditional rulers. So these were the people we have to, speak to. We call them the gatekeepers, and they were able to give us access to the communities. And I think that was really very important. The second aspect of this navigation is that we didn't come as if we know it all. We had to rely on them because they speak the language, they understand the culture, they understand the complexities, the political and domestic experiences that they have within those types of environment.
We're very particular about ensuring that there was ownership or whatever it is that we're doing. So, for example, if the community dialogue committees were for the community members, by the community members, the leadership of the CVCs were by the community members. We selected from people who were of repute at the community level and ensured that they were the ones who made up the composition of the CDCs. The rules, the guidelines, the terms were all jointly made by those people at the community level.
The Community Dialogue Committee, they're very active. In fact, when the team went to meet with NAPTIP recently, they were telling them that this committee is so active that they're really collaborating with them. They've been getting cases from them. So they're partnering a lot with them.
Through effective implementation of the girls' training, women, youth, and minority groups took their seat at the table, challenging traditional norms and reshaping the narrative of peace building.
The women now have voice. Their voice is being recognized, even at our palaces. Before, we don't have women representative in the palace. Now we have a representative of the women, that every woman, when they want to talk to us, they will liaise with her. They will talk to us. We invite her in the palace. We will hear from her. We will also engage the husband to talk to him to resolve the dispute.
Global Rights, through the activities of CDC in Sokoto, was able to assist us to launch a program. We conducted series of trainings that involved school principals, guidance and counseling officers, and all other stakeholders in the schools, particularly the female schools in the state, on how best to actually sense the warning signals of gender-based violence, report the gender-based violence, and even prevent the occurrence of gender-based violence in schools.
More recently, in a conversation with the district head in Katsina State that we're working in currently, he mentioned how he has appointed a gender desk officer in his council. He's the second district head in the entire Katsina State to do that. So normally that's not something that happens. We don't see women come out and sit, in the council of traditional rulers. But now he has put a woman there, not just for tokenism, but also like to sit there on women issues and to interface directly with women.
Technology became a lifeline. Early warning systems connected communities to security agencies, preventing violence before it could erupt. The impact of global rights intervention is clear. 93.2% believe that women's inclusion in peace-building efforts and community decision-making processes has increased. 82.7% believe that there is undeniable acceptance of women's leadership participation in governance. 89.2% agree that there is now better trust and collaboration between communities and law enforcement agencies. 85.3% believe that there now exists greater communication and collaboration between religious groups. Beyond these, the true measure of success lies in the stories of transformation.
Kuma abin da ɗin CDC ɗin ya sanya yanzu har waɗanda ba addininsu ɗaya ba sun zo wuri ɗaya suna haɗa kansu wajen ƙoƙarin a zauna lafiya, ko kuma idan wata matsala babba ta taso za a yi iyakar bakin ƙoƙari a kwantar da ita, ko kuma wani abu na ci gaba in ya zo za a haɗa kai a zauna a tattauna a samu mafita baki ɗaya.
Now we have a particular community we have problem penetrating. I knew we have attempted 3 times. We wrote officially to see how it could be mobilized, people could be mobilized so that we get stakeholders in that community. We never had it. And lucky enough, the arrival of Global Rights through the Community Dialogue Committee invited us and said, Salama Center, please can you come and create awareness for us? And then we went in. Behold, Global Rights were there. They were the powerhouse there. They gave us very good entrance into that community. It was difficult. We have never had a community entry there. All effort proved abortive until their arrival. Now we go in 5 times already. It's a good one for us.
Before the project itself, there was really a dire need in Sokoto. People were lacking in motivation. People were a bit stranded. What should they do? How can they contribute? They cannot continue to rely on the government for everything. But then after the project, one of the things I saw, particularly the last conference that we had in Sokoto, the level of motivation that graduated into total commitment and the things that they have learned through this project, and their willingness to stand on their own even after the project is over. So the compelling story is the availability and also the access and the willingness of women to come out to speak, to give their own side of the story and be willing to become agents in this transformative journey that we have experienced. And it's something that we really shouldn't lose sight of. It's really key and it's important.
There are a lot of things that I don't even share with her. I don't even need her assistance or her advice. But after the girls' training, I normally share some things with her.
I want to appreciate Global Rights for this intervention, most especially in our communities. A lot of women and children have been abused, but without the awareness, they feel as if there's nothing they can do. But because we have created a lot of awareness today, there is peace in our community.
We had a very wonderful time to celebrate Christmas, and both faiths came together. CDC Gagi, we met together and we ate together, we spoke together. We had a very wonderful time to commemorate that very festive moment, which ordinarily wouldn't have been possible. It would have been seen as strange. It is only for Christians, that seclusion would have been there. But with what interfaith dialogue has garnered over the years, and especially with the CDC, it has really helped to bring us together, and we feasted together. We were on common front, and that really helped to foster our relationship.
So now, I believe we sustain this good momentum. Now, community is safe, the women are safe, the women has voice, their voices are recognized. Just last week, I was asked to invite 100 women at the community. So could you imagine 500 women participate? Before, it's very difficult for me to assemble 50 women a day. But I can look at this time around, I can assemble more than 500 women to engage them in some of the issue decisions we want to take that touches them. Issue like health seeking behavior, issue like girl child education, empowering girl and adolescent girls to school, issue like elimination street hawking among our girls to combat their hours of hawking into school hours. So it's very now very okay. So the community is safe, women are safe now.
But just watching the transformation afterwards, seeing halfway how people learn to be willing to work together, seeing that they've also grown to be more equitable, that gender came to the fore, and that they were able to have meaningful conversations about gender, to see also how the transformation has brought women to the fore in this project, how women sit equally at the CDC and at conferences with the men, how the girls transformed households and how they are so eager to spread the lessons from the girls, how it's also transformed marriages at the individual level, at the meso level, at the micro level, how it's just transforming the state, and seeing the transformation going on has been really, really gratifying.
This is the story of Northwest Nigeria, a story of resilience, collaboration, and hope. It is a reminder that even in the face of adversity, bridges of peace can be built, not with steel and concrete, but with technology, dialogue, and unyielding courage. This is not the end of the story, it's just the beginning.
Every society on gender-based means a society that has a voice, a society where people could see something and say something, possibly do something.
A conflict-free Kano for me would be a place where there's peace, where women are free, women and girls are free to gain the skills, the access opportunities, and to be able to make their own choices without fear.
We should be able to relate and really be a support to one another. That's what I look forward to, a society where I can sleep comfortably. My neighbor is there, I can also stand in for my neighbor if he's not there, and we can be able to stand in for each other.
A home of peace and a home to live in, and a home that I will never migrate to another place because I enjoy the environment whereby I'm living at, and it means that everybody will now, there will be hope. It brings back hope to me.
A peaceful, conflict-free society is a society in which trust has been built, that there's a tangible asset of trust as part of their social capital. It's a society in which everyone feels safe in spite of their identity, whether that identity is gender or religion, whether it is ethnicity, that everyone feels safe, everyone feels seen, and everyone feels heard, and accepted.